Hey guys, this is Wanda from Crazy Days, and today is another conversation of friends. So all of you may know Michelle from Permaculture Farms, but today she and I are going to kind of talk a little bit about her specialty, and it is dealing with permaculture a little bit and other things, but I'm going to let her take the floor. She's going to tell you a little bit about her background, and then we're going to talk plants. You want to tell them a little bit about maybe where you're from and things like that?
Okay. I grew up in New York State, in the frozen, cold state of New York. My mom's family actually had a dairy farm.
Oh, wow.
So that was my first introduction to
So that's why you like cows?
Yeah. That's where it all started.
Yeah. So did you have to help with the dairy farm or no?
Well, I did, like, when I was there, I loved to help. I loved to do any part that they would let me help. But we lived a little distance away from them, so it wasn't like I was there on a daily basis.
So this was your grandparents' place?
Right.
Yeah. So were you exposed to plants at all as a child, for the most part?
Well, we always had a garden. And then my mom she loved flowers. So I was then, but I knew from an early age. And also we had Forage animals, which I always loved doing that too. We had pigs and sheep. So I always loved that whole part of it. But not like, we had a garden growing up, but it's not like we had like a tree farm or something. So.
Yeah, so now you told me earlier that pigs seem to be one of your favorite animals.
I do like pigs. They, I don't know why. I don't know if it's, ruminants are a little they can be a little tricky, I think. Pigs,
a little tricky?
Yeah. Yes. Pigs seem to be just, you can feed them anything. They can survive in so many different conditions. Mm-hmm. They seem to be a lot easier than ruminants are.
And they're a little bit of mischievous, which makes your day a little better when you can laugh at the pigs because of what they do.
Right.
Yeah. So when you got out of high school, did you have any idea you'd be doing plants?
No, when I got out of high school, I struggled a lot with school. Sitting at a desk and learning is not the way I learned. So I really struggled with school, and I knew that I would not go to college because I just didn't think I was smart enough to go to college. Mm-hmm. So I just ruled that out. And I went into the military because I thought it was a good option for me because I knew I didn't want to go to college, but
learning was not it, so you figured that would be
my other option. Yeah, my best option.
So when did you meet Billy?
So we met at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, when we were both active duty. So yeah, that's when we met.
Y'all been married about
25 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I hope I got that number right.
He's going to tell you.
He's going to be like, yeah.
It's only 24. No, it's 27.
Yeah.
But Danny gets me all the time because I have to stop and think.
Like, okay, what year is it?
Yeah.
Let me do the math.
So, and you have a grown son, mm-hmm. William, who also is very good with permaculture. From what I gather from videos, I've watched him a lot.
He is really good. He's very smart, and he picks up things he picks up concepts so much quicker than I do. And like, he's got a PDC. He went to Australia and studied under Jeff Lawton. Mm-hmm. So he's seen quite a bit more than I have as far as that. And he figures out the problems that I have, or the things that are harder for me to understand, are the earthworks part of it. Mm-hmm. Just how water's gonna flow, things like that. and he understands
He's
swales.
got that concept.
Right, swales, earthworks, ponds. He understands that more.
And you like the plants.
Yes, I would say if I had to pick the plants and stacking their functions is what I enjoy the most, I think.
So you went into the military
Mm-hmm.
and you were in there. How long were you in the military before you decided to get into the plant part? So it's been...
Well, I had a little bit of a what happened was I was in for 2 years, got out, and there was time in there. I knew I always wanted to be in agriculture,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew I didn't want to do dairy, which is what my mom's side of the family did.
Yeah.
So I was kind of just in the meantime. I went to school, I went to KU, got my degree in environmental science. And then after I did that, I went back into the military, and there was a long time where I was trying to figure out what am I supposed to be doing.
And you had a kid somewhere along the way.
Right.
William
Yeah.
comes along too.
Right, and I had William. So for a time, I was just working jobs, going to school,
Mhm.
and trying to figure things out. And really, it wasn't until Joel Salatin came into the picture where I actually thought that, okay, maybe I can, have a job in agriculture.
So did you go to his place or?
He would go to Mother Earth news conferences.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I first heard about him, was at Mother Earth news conferences, which we went to, and we went to the one in Kansas, and I read his books. I've read his books that he has out, and I went to his talks when he was in the Mother Earth news conferences, and I got him to autograph my books, because for me it was such a big deal, because before him, your option was go into at least $1 million in debt to buy land,
Mhm.
buy all the equipment to do any kind of farming.
Yeah.
And then when he came on the scene, he's saying, no, start really small. And he just provided options that I didn't know were available until he started.
So you've ended up from there. How did you end up gardening and in North Carolina? Because that's kind of a little bit of a story, because I know you were not in North Carolina at the time, but now you are on your property and y'all are making amazing stuff happening there.
So we were in Kansas, and we had some family in Texas that had land. And so we moved I got out of the military. Billy quit his job, and William moved with us, and we moved down to Texas. His family had some land down there, and so we were going to all try to make it work together. And that's how we knew about permaculture before then, but then when we went down there, that's when we really started trying to practice. But we had some issues. We had
Texas
some
was
issues
not
with
what you
family.
wanted.
Yeah, things weren't working out the way we had thought they would, and
Texas is an eye-opener.
we lived in East Texas, and it was supposed to be the last time we moved, because we had moved around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we were going to move to Texas, and that was it. That was going to be the last time we moved. So we had it in our mind, like, this is it. We're staying here. We're not moving. And then Billy had been watching homesteading channels on YouTube, which I didn't really know about.
Yeah.
And he was watching Sow the Land.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Asheville, and there were a couple other ones that he was watching. But so he actually talked to Jason at Sow the Land,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Why did you pick?" They lived in like Western North Carolina, and they loved Western North Carolina. So Billy got on the phone with him and interviewed him, and was like, "Hey, why did you?" Because they came from California. And he was like, "Why did you pick Western North Carolina?" So Jason's telling him all the reasons why he loved it. So Billy ended up telling me on the phone one time, he's like, "Maybe we should just move to like Western North Carolina." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." And then I said something to William about it. William's like, "Let's move tomorrow." And the funny thing was, we had never talked about moving up until that point, but we all did not like it that much.
Yeah.
So Billy and I came out. We actually got a realtor. She sent us properties. We looked through all of them online.
Mm-hmm.
And then Billy and I were coming out to just check it out. And we looked at the properties. I mean, we went there, and I've always loved the mountains. I just never thought I would actually be able to live in the mountains, because the mountains in like Western United States, that's very arid, so
Yeah.
they have water issues. So I've always loved the mountains. I just never thought that I would. And I don't know why it never occurred to me to live.
And that was where you guys met.
Right.
So you ended up back in the state. You met.
Right. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now you have your place, and I don't know how big it is, but you have a good bit of land. It's very hilly.
It is.
It's mountainous land.
It is. Yep.
But you've turned it into an oasis almost. Their driveway is just beautiful. It's a food forest going through there, and it's not the type of food forest that most people think. You and I talked about this. Her food forest is actually food she can eat,
Mm-hmm.
and it's neat and clean. The place looks decent. It's not growed up. It's not a jungle.
Right.
It's a food forest.
Yep.
And that's kind of how Danny and I had looked at our place as a Garden of Eden.
Right.
We called it a Garden of Eating because that's what we called all our place. And we would put permaculture in the tags and things like that, but people didn't like the word permaculture on Homestead and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of dropped that, and Danny will bring it in every now and then, and people are kind of Yankee about it because they see permaculture as a growed up piece of land somewhere. But yours is not overgrown and not well taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
In their mind, they see permaculture as that, but that's not what permaculture is about, is it?
No. And that's the thing that some people like that wild look. I don't, it's not my favorite. I like things like we have fruit trees up our driveway,
Mm-hmm.
and then around each of our fruit trees we have certain beneficial plants planted. So we've got garlic, we've got daffodil, we have comfrey, and they each serve. We eat the garlic, obviously. The daffodils keep the deer away.
Plus they're a pollinator. You know,
Right.
they attract your bees.
Right, and they're pretty to look at.
Yeah. You gotta have the pretty.
Right. I mean, and daffodils to me are always, because it's the first thing that comes up in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. That's one of the reasons why I like it. I like flowers, so
I do too.
that was
I like to have
important.
flowers.
Yeah.
So everywhere that you start a place, you have layers.
Mhm.
You don't just put one plant there. You have short plants, medium plants, trees, bushes,
Right.
shrubs.
Right.
Grasses.
And then we have, so we've got our trees, we've got like our tree layer, we've got our shrub layer, which would be the blueberries. That's what, I mean, you can have other,
Yeah, the
Shrubs,
blueberries
but-
are good,
right.
something to eat.
Yeah.
Superfood.
And then ground cover, you've got your ground cover, which we have strawberries. And then there's some other, also another area, and I don't know if this is 100% included in the layers, but it should be, is the fungal layer, which is something I don't know a whole lot about, but that's one of my winter projects to learn more about.
That's interesting because I was thinking about the funguses and the
Like the
mushrooms
Yep.
and stuff
Mhm.
the last couple of days, and I was going to ask you about it. So as you learn, you're going to be teaching me because
Yes.
my greenhouse is really bad about wanting to grow different mushrooms, and I need to know beneficial versus get rid of,
Well, and that's something I'm gonna have to learn too, because is the identification. But maybe you could inoculate some, if you've got moisture in there and mushrooms growing, I'm sure you could inoculate some logs, put them in the greenhouse, the high tunnel during the winter time anyway.
Mhm.
You'd probably have to take them out in the summertime,
But I'm not sure. I need to know beneficial versus not beneficial, and
Yeah, I
because
have to
I'm
know
bad
that
about just whacking them all down and wanting them out of there,
I don't know mushrooms. I'm gonna have to learn them too.
So that's a good point. So she and Billy have come down here to visit. You're taking back a baby with you, aren't you?
Yep, we're taking back Coco. So
She told me she wanted Coco from the get-go.
yeah, I have a hard time. I love the animals, but I have a hard time getting attached to them, and then we have to process them, and Coco we won't have to process. So
Yeah, that's a no. Coco is not being processed. He is going to be her
He's-
baby.
Yep.
Till
we
he provides babies.
Yep, that's his job, to provide babies. So
Yeah.
I can get attached to him.
So she's already been loving on Coco, and he's actually warming up, even to Billy.
He seems pretty friendly.
Yeah.
I
so-
think you and Danny have like gotten him used to
Danny.
humans.
He comes to me, but he likes Danny. He's probably Danny's baby. So you guys are going to be staying another night. We're going to do a live stream.
Yep.
We're going to go see what Danny and Billy are cooking fish.
Yep. Yeah, we were able
Let's
to
see if I have a house left.
yeah. We were able to fish at the pond a little bit
Yeah.
today, so that was fun.
So we've been just chilling and enjoying the life. But guys, Michelle from Permaculture Farms, we wanted to introduce you to her. You guys go check them out, and we got a live stream to go get ready for. We have been pushing it all day, just chilling, not really wanting to do work. So I just told her, while they're making our supper, we're going to go do this. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Michelle, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little about our people here.
Yep.
And she's gradually learning all you guys that pop over to Permapasture, and y'all are going to be back one day, and we are going to
yes.
try and make North
Yes.
Carolina. That's one of Danny's trips, if he ever gets where he can,
Mhm.
is North Carolina. That's one place he wants to go. He wants to go to King Mountain, and I think that is in South Carolina.
I think so. Not
So-
too far. We're not too far.
Yeah, y'all are close to
Right.
it. Actually, it's in South Carolina, but he wants to go in that area. We've got friends in both South Carolina and North Carolina.
Okay.
And so he kind of wants to go to King Mountain. If I can ever get him healthy enough that he can travel, we'll be going to be traveling.
We're good.
So, guys, y'all, thank you for welcoming Michelle.
Thank
Michelle,
you.
thank you for coming.
Well,
and
thank you for doing this.
we're going to eat catfish.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys.